U.S. officials telling Fox News that Salman Abedi spent 3 weeks in Libya before returning to the U.K., just days before he carried out that attack. Now, the news comes as the Libyan authorities have arrested both Abedi's father and Abedi's brother in the country yesterday. Joining us right now, former CIA operative, president of Diligence, a global intelligence security firm, Mike Baker is with us. Mike, thanks very much for weighing in here. What's your reaction to the arrest here? Yesterday, we had on the former CIA head, and before this was even known, he said, I would expect this to be family members, that brothers typically are associated with the same thing when you have a situation like this. What's your reaction, Mike?
Well, I mean, I think, anybody that's been working in counterterrorism, when this first thing went off the night of the bombing, there was a sense as you started to get more details about the attack itself, there was a sense that, there was probably support. There was probably a support network. This wasn't a lone wolf, a traditional lone wolf type of attack. There had to be some support likely in creating that explosive device. There was support likely in choosing the target or surveilling the target ahead of the attack. And so it's not a big leap to imagine that it was, either close or distant family members or close friends that were involved in this along with the attacker.
Yeah, but Mike, I got to bring up something that we were talking about yesterday, and Dagan, you brought this up. The fact that this guy was on a watch list. We know that he was on a watch list in the UK, and he had just come off of a 3-week stay in Libya. How is this missed?
Yeah.
Well, it's not missed. It's, again, people imagine, maybe they've watched too many feature films, but they imagine that if someone comes up on the radar screen of a security service or an intel service, that means that those people are being watched then 24/7 ad infinitum all the way down the road. And that's not the way it works. It's not. Oftentimes, it's not allowable under legal restrictions of what you can and can't do, and resources are an issue as well.
Wouldn't the trip, a 3-week trip to Libya, though, Dagan, I mean, shouldn't that have sort of, ran a red flag if this guy's on a watch list, then he goes to Libya for 3 weeks? What do you think, Dagan?
Well, Mike, shouldn't it be? If you look at the case of the Tsarnaev brothers, Tamlin Tsarnaev was overseas, and they were on the radar of authorities. The attackers in Paris, Omar Mateen, the Pulse nightclub terrorist, was.
Yeah, they come across. There's a difference between constant surveillance and somebody coming across the radar or being looked at some point or being questioned at some point. And if again, I'm not sure how else to explain this other than people, if they want that level of surveillance, then change the laws, change the rules. But you also at the same time have people screaming about privacy rights and civil liberties, and that priority list that any service has. Take the UK, for instance, where they've got over 3,000, terrorist suspects. The priority of who you have to watch, who you have to pay attention to, it's a very complicated list, and people are moved up and down. It's constantly shifting.